Hello one and all, my name is Ryan Bruce, my friends call me Fluff, and today on Riffs, Beards, and Gear, we're going to talk about my newly acquired Voodoo modded 3-channel dual rectifier. So all the way back in about 2008, I first became aware of a company called Voodoo amps modifying amplifiers. Now, at the time, this was the first time I had ever seen amps being modded that were not old Marshalls or Marshall based. They were new amplifiers and people were sending in their new amplifiers to get them tweaked. Most notably, Richard Z from Rammstein would tour with Voodoo modded 3-channel triple rectifiers. And there was quite a craze going on back in about 2008, 2010. The thing to do with your 5150 or your Boogie was to get it modified either by FJA, Voodoo. There was a couple of other guys doing them as well. However, as far as my recollection go, Trace at Voodoo Amps was the guy to go to, and he subsequently went on to tech for Aerosmith and is still teching today for Smashing Pumpkins. So, you know, the dude knows his stuff, and his mods were very highly sought after. Now, why would you want to get your amplifier modded? Well, normally you would get an amplifier modded to your tastes to get that last 10% that you couldn't otherwise get in stock form. And it would generally be an amplifier that you already really liked that wanted to maybe, you know, sprinkle just a little bit more sauce on. Now, the problem was getting them modded was very, very expensive. I had an amplifier modded back in 2010 and, you know, you're paying shipping both ways, so that's $300. And then the mod, in this case, a standard mod from Voodoo amps is, you know, about $800 or $900. So the cost of entry to get an amplifier modded was not cheap, but someone did it to this amplifier that I found in a Guitar Center in Arizona, thanks to my good buddy Jameson, shout out to Jameson, who happened to see it, call me and go, hey, what's this sticker on this amplifier? It says Voodoo modded? What does that even mean? And I was like, grab it. And I was able to acquire the amplifier for a hilariously low amount of money. And I think it sounds really, really good. Let's hear it in the context of a mix, shall we? All right, so before we go into the playthrough, let's talk about what the mod specific to this amplifier was supposed to do. Now, I have the verbiage from the standard mod on the Voodoo Amps website. They no longer do this mod. They no longer do any mods for that matter. Basically, this is supposed to clean up the amplifier. It's supposed to remove all the buzziness and the fizziness and the muddiness that was associated with these amplifiers, and it's supposed to make it, according to the website, very, very usable with high amounts of gain. Now, I want to note that back in the day, people weren't going for the hyper tight tones that they are going for today. So to my ear, this amplifier just sounds like you would expect it to coming out of the factory before actually playing it, if that makes sense. It's a cleaned up rectifier. It's not buzzy, it's not fizzy, but it's still crunchy in a real nice musical way. It's harmonically rich, and the clean channel is vastly improved. I owned basically the same exact amplifier stock back in 2008, and the clean channel was horrible, and I hated it even then, and it is much improved in this amplifier. So, knowing that, let's just go through some of the channels, and I will just kind of play through, and you'll see me reaching around the back to change the channel because I don't have the foot switch. And yeah, sounds pretty good to my ear. All right, so what have we learned? Well, this amplifier really surprised me. I did have to retube it. I got it, and the tubes were quite old and tired. And even then, it still sounded okay to me, but after the retube, that's when it really woke up. It sounded fresh and tight and really aggressive. It doesn't sound like any other 3-channel dual rectifier that I have ever owned, FJA included. This is a very cleaned up amplifier, and I've been using it for all sorts of stuff in my mixing stuff and reamping stuff, and it's just a lot of fun. So props to Trace at Voodoo Amps for whatever he did back in 2010. And yeah, with that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.